going everyone? I hope you're having a wonderful day. In this episode, I'm going to share with you this fun table runner project for you to try. So the finished measurement of this project is about 15 inches by 35.5 inches, and you can also use this as a wall hanging. This is a beginner friendly project as well because you only be working with one kind of block, which is the half square triangle block, and it's pretty easy to make. You're gonna use some charm packs or the 5-inch squares to make the half square triangle blocks. The layout pattern and the cutting instruction for this project is available on a PDF format that you can download for free. I will have the link in the description box down below. So we're gonna get started soon. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and the project turned out great. And if you have any question at all about this project, please don't hesitate to reach out to me through the comment section down below. And without further ado, let's get started. Prepare 7 pieces of charm packs or the 5-inch squares from various prints, and also 7 pieces of 5-inch squares out of white solid color or whatever background color that you choose. Take one print and one background fabric and then lay them right side together just like so, and then we're going to go ahead and sew with 1/4 inch of seam allowance all around the edges. Once you've done sewing, go ahead and cut this piece on diagonal angle on both sides, and you're gonna end up with 4 half square triangles. Now go ahead and press the seams. I press mine towards the print fabric. Now we're going to square this block, so take your square ruler. Then you want to find the 3-inch point. Line up your ruler on the half square triangle right on the 3-inch point, and you also want to line up the diagonal line right there with the seams of your half square triangle. Trim off the excess fabric with your rotary cutter. Then you want to rotate your half square triangle to the opposite direction and then line up your ruler again, and if there is any extra fabric, go ahead and trim that off as well. So you want to continue on and make your half square triangles until you've got 26 pieces of this. Next, we're going to cut the background strips. So fold your background fabric twice widthwise. First, you're going to straighten up the edges, and once you've done that, measure 3 inches and cut. And then you want to cut another 2 strips. Then from here you're going to cut the background strips according to the cutting instruction, starting from the first row, and then you want to mark each strip that you cut to get yourself organized. So use some of these tiny stickers and then just mark each strip numerically. This way you won't get confused when you lay them out later. For the top and the bottom borders, you're gonna need to cut 2 strips of fabric measuring 15 by 3 inches. So here I've got all of my background strips already cut, and also all of my half square triangles also ready to go. Now we're going to go ahead and start laying these pieces. You want to follow the pattern layout and lay your fabric pieces accordingly. There is no restriction on which color should be where for the half square triangles. The only thing that you want to pay attention to is the direction of each triangle. So you're gonna end up with something like this. Now we're going to start piecing this one row at a time. So we're gonna start from the first row, and of course you want to sew them with 1/4 inch of seam allowance. Then go ahead and press the seams towards the direction that you want it to. Alright guys, so here we've got all of the rows sewn together. So each of your rows should be measuring 15 inches wide. And when you press this, you can press it to any direction that you like. The only row that you want to pay attention to is these rows, row 8 and the 9, since on the pattern these two triangles are actually aligned, so only these two seams that you want to match up. Next, we're going to sew these rows together. So you want to start from sewing the first and the second row together, and then the third and the fourth together, and so on and so forth. Lay the first and the second row right side together, and then you want to pin them in place and go ahead and sew with 1/4 inch of seam allowance. Then go ahead and set the seam and press. Now we're gonna work on the top and the bottom borders. So I'm gonna start from the top here. And once you've done piecing the patchwork, you're going to layer this piece with the quilt batting and the quilt backing as well. And once you've done that, go ahead and baste this. I'm going to use spray basting, but you can also pin baste this instead. So whatever method that you're comfortable with. And the next step will be to quilt your table runner. So go ahead and do whichever design that you like. I'm doing the pebbling free motion quilting here, and I really enjoy this a lot, and I think it's really added awesome texture into this table runner. And obviously you don't have to do free motion quilting. You can do hand quilting, you can do stitch in the ditch, or walking foot quilting. So just work with what you have and what you're comfortable with. So once you've got your table runner quilted, go ahead and bind it. If you're going to make your own binding strip, you're gonna need to cut 3 strips. I normally use 2.5 inch wide binding strip, and for this particular project I use the dark brown color binding, just sort of framing the whole table runner. And that's all I have for you today, guys. Thanks so much for watching, and I shall see you next time with another fun sewing project. Goodbye!